What I really love about Zeta is they are the first company that I'm seeing in this whole AI boom that is the actual beneficiary of AI. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is John. I got options. And today we are breaking down a recent podcast with the CEO of Zeta, David Steinberg. I highly encourage you to go watch the full interview. Go subscribe to the Basis Points podcast. They are putting out some great content. And today we're going to react to a few clips that I have from the interview that are very informative and have helped me with my conviction on Zeta Global, because I believe this company is a 10-bagger in the long run. So if you are a long-term investor like myself, you like buying companies and you like seeing them just grow and compound over the years, I think Zeta is one of those businesses. So let's get into it. For the first clip, the CEO, David Steinberg, he talks about their moat and their data moat specifically. So if you don't know, what Zeta does is they're an ad software business where they help businesses target consumers, target potential customers, and advertise to them. And they have this highly rich data set that they use to help their customers, which are other businesses, target new potential customers. So let's get into it.
The other massive moat in our business is our data cloud. We have 555 million opted in individuals who have given us permission to track them and market to them.
Via third parties?
No, this is all 100% first party.
Like they would be using a different website where you guys pop up and say, hey, can we?
No, they're subscribed to Discuss,
Right.
They're using our ESP, they're subscribed to one of the billions of newsletters we send out. All of this is misunderstood. I'm glad we're talking about this. 100% of our data cloud is first party proprietary data. Now, we license data to append to it. So like we don't do credit scores at Zeta, but we're an agent of the bureau for all three credit reporting agencies, because I can build an audience that's not just of the highest level of intent. I can build an audience of people who will absolutely be credit approved for my clients' products before we spend $1.
Right.
So let me take you through the process. It's actually super cool. So we set up a consumer data platform for our enterprise client. The huge enterprise puts all of their first party data into that CDP. We then match it with our data. We match in the US at greater than 92%. We have 245 million Americans opted into the data cloud. We then remove the personally identifiable information to protect the consumer. There's another big benefit to us, and I'll share that with you in a minute. And we import 5,000 to 7,000 data elements per person: demographic, psychographic, every credit card transaction they do, location-based data, and tons of web behaviors. Because we've removed their personally identifiable information, the enterprise never even sees it.
Right.
But then what happens is our proprietary algorithm inside of the consumer data platform starts saying, okay, their best clients read articles on these three topics for 3.5 minutes. They had a credit card transaction where they complained about renting a car in the 6 months prior to signing up for their service. They entered these three retail locations prior to making the decision to buy our clients' products. We then do two things that nobody else can do. We then take 100% of our clients' data, we layer it against the 245 million Americans and remove their existing customers before we spend any money on marketing. How many times a day do you get an ad for products you already own?
No, more than I can count.
Yeah, that's a waste of money.
100%.
We eliminate that waste. Then let's say we're trying to issue credit card. We say these 2 million people are actively in market for our clients' products, but this 1 million won't be credit approved by their criteria.
Right.
Don't waste any money on them, because all of our data is deterministic. So now let's go back to the Zeta ID number. We go back to the consumer data platform and we tell our client that this 1 million people are not your customers. They're actively in market to buy your product, and they will be credit approved with a 90% or greater propensity by your credit score for your products. Would you like to market to them? There's no primer to decode the Zeta ID. You can't take that data anywhere. You have to market through us.
Right.
And if you terminate us, you lose 100% of the learning in the consumer data platform, which is why I think last year, our net retention rate as a company was 120%. 100% is considered great.
He explained the business as clear as day. Pretty much what they're doing is they have all this data, all this proprietary data, first party data, which means it's their data. They didn't get it from another party. And they got this data by acquiring two separate businesses, which he explained earlier on in the interview. Definitely go watch the full interview. And there were a couple key points he made in that clip. One, how much data they have on each customer or each person in their data set. They have 5,000 to 7,000 data points on each person in their system. That is an immense amount of data. And with the power of AI, they are able to decipher through that and find exactly who is going to be the highest potential candidate for their customers, which is other businesses. So let's say they have Clorox. Well, they are able to find out who exactly in their data set is the highest probable candidate to be a customer for Clorox at the time that they are launching their ad campaign. And then the beautiful thing about it is they don't just give this data to Clorox. No, this data is inside the Zeta system. So they are only able to use their data if they spend their ad money with Zeta. And then we get into the next point, which Steinberg is about to explain here, which is how are they partnered with AI? So Zeta recently, as in the last year or so, has partnered with OpenAI in a major, major way. And he's going to explain that partnership next. Let's get into it.
So even though we partner with OpenAI, which I assume we'll talk about in a few minutes, they never see our data. Our data is 100% proprietary. So now all of a sudden, you've got this massive layer of intelligence where we become the operating system for our clients' marketing ecosystems. This is the one thing nobody understands about our business. The reason we're at 120% net retention rate is because almost nobody fires us. It's because we create this massive layer of intelligence. Now, then what do? We use that to create a 600% return on marketing spend, which, by the way, with Athena, I think we'll get to 1,000% return on marketing spend. So when people start looking at us and saying, you're going to be disintermediated, I'm like, dude, we grew 30% organically last quarter, 50% total. We are the disintermediator, not the is.
So right there, he gave some really critical fundamentals about the business, which is, one, they have 120% net retention with their customers. That means that customers the next year are not spending the same amount they spent last year. They're spending 20% more than what they already spent. So that means their product is working. And why is it working? Well, like he said, the other major point he made, these customers are seeing 600, 700% ROI on the money they are spending with Zeta. So let's say they put $1 million with Zeta in a marketing campaign. That $1 million ends up yielding that business $7 million in revenue. So that is massive value that Zeta is offering to their customers. And I think this is only going to continue to expand. Like he said, he thinks it's going to 1,000%. He thinks his customers are going to see a 10x return on their investment with Zeta. So over the years, we're going to see more businesses hop on Zeta's platform, more businesses spending more money with Zeta. And that is going to come to this opportunity. What is the opportunity for Zeta? But before we get to that, we have another little clip to watch about their relationship with OpenAI. Because not only are they using OpenAI and their LLMs to help make their marketing and the decisions they're making with their data better, but also they have the door in with OpenAI for GEO. And if you don't know what GEO is, GEO means Generative Engine Optimization. This means when an ad is placed, where is that ad going? Is it going to TikTok? Is it going to Meta, Facebook, Instagram, X? Is it going to YouTube, Google? Where is the best point to touch the customer? And OpenAI is going to be a massive new advertising platform. Why? It's basic. Because you're asking OpenAI where to go for dinner, where to spend this holiday, what's the best hotel, what's the best pair of shoes to buy for running. So the next level of advertising is going to be advertising in these chat bots like OpenAI, Gemini, and Zeta has the door open to enter this market. So if you're Clorox and you want to advertise in OpenAI, in ChatGPT, guess what? You're going to go through Zeta's platform to be able to advertise on ChatGPT. Now let's hear it from David Steinberg.
First, we were super excited about partnering with OpenAI to build Athena, which I think is the future of our business. And I think Athena is the way we get to 10 billion. And I think it truly makes us the operating system for our clients, marketing and ultimately business intelligence and on. What I would say about helping them in the ad space, which I think is really interesting and is going to be a very large opportunity for us. It's not just that I think we're the only platform helping them and bringing all of our enterprise clients into their ecosystem for ChatGPT. We're now plugged into their API for GEO, which gives us another big leg up in our GEO component of our business. We are, I believe, the only company in the world, let me rephrase. We're the only company I know of in the world that is fully integrated into ChatGPT, Google's ecosystem, Meta's entire ecosystem, the open web, connected TV, messaging, email, social, all the way through. We can build one reporting infrastructure with attribution through all of that.
So there you go. If you're an insurance company, why would you not use Zeta to be able to have access to connected TV, Google, the open web, Meta, and now even these chatbots like ChatGPT? So once ChatGPT starts offering ads in their chatbots, what do you think is going to happen? All this money is going to flood in, and they are going to be using the Zeta platform to get the most direct, most targeted customer possible with Zeta's platform. So the last clip that I have to show you is the opportunity.
How big can Zeta become?
We believe we can build a $10 billion business at a 30% operating margin with the vast majority of that falling free cash flow. It's not going to take us a few years. It's going to take us a long time. Although I like to say it took us 18 years to get to our first billion a year in revenue, and we'll double that in 3 to 4 years.
Boom. So right there, the CEO just gave you the TAM of his business. He said 10 billion in revenue, 30% operating income, which leaves 3 billion, probably a little less than that, that is going towards earnings per share. Now, let's say this business is doing 3 billion in net income. And let's say this business trades at 30 multiple. That would give you a $90 billion company. Now, Zeta currently is trading at a 5 billion market cap. So we have a 5 billion market cap that could potentially become a $90 billion market cap business one day in the future. And currently this business is growing at 25-30% year over year. Compound that for another decade, and you're looking at a $45 billion company. And then another 3 years after that, if they keep compounding at that rate, then you're looking at a $90 billion market cap business. And what I really love about Zeta is they are the first company that I'm seeing in this whole AI boom that is the actual beneficiary of AI. Why are we building out all these data centers? Why are all these chip companies going absolutely berserk and they have unlimited demand? Well, it's because LLMs, these AIs, are useful and they're creating value in the market. But what people are finding hard to figure out is who are these beneficiaries? Who are the businesses that are actually benefiting from AI? And not just benefiting in the sense of, oh, instead of having 5 employees doing this task, I now only need 1 because I have AI creating these efficiencies. That's great. That's lowering your costs. That can increase your EPS. That can increase your margins on your business. But which businesses are actually seeing their revenue expanding because of AI and on a really meaningful, significant level? And when I look at Zeta, when I listen to the CEO talking here, this really sounds like a true beneficiary of the AI explosion we're seeing. We're not talking about a chip company that's the picks and shovels of the AI boom. We're talking about the actual business that's the actual beneficiary of AI. So to me, Zeta is an extremely attractive business. This interview has quadrupled my conviction on the business, if you could even quantify it. And I highly recommend, can't say it enough, go check out the Basis Points podcast. I love their content. I love the interviews they do. I love the questions they ask. And as always, check out feedmetrades.com. It's a website I built if you want to be able to track your options trading journey. And that's what I have to share with you guys for the day. So make sure you stay healthy, stay wealthy, and stay tuned for the next one.